Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are going to talk about Range Troopers today. There was a spoiler article last week that wasn't too spoilery because we had seen some spoilers at Adepticon, but I wanted to wrap up what we know about the Range Troopers, and also we'll build a list with them, trying to take some of what we know and speculate into where they may fit very well into the game. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the video. If you guys are new here to the channel, we talk a lot about tabletop gaming and Star Wars gaming. If you're interested in that, you're in the right place. We also do giveaways all the time. We have a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway going on right now. It's running for about another week. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. So let's go ahead and talk about Range Troopers. These guys were seen in Solo, a Star Wars story, and only really one act, one big part of the movie, but they made quite an impression. They're pretty cool looking. They got those magnetized boots, and they seem pretty tough. Honestly, they look like they're gonna be really fun to paint as well. I'm looking forward to checking these out, and of course, when they do come out, we will be looking at them in real time on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed if you're into Star Wars Legion and you want to see like unboxings and more about Range Troopers and other new units coming to Legion. As far as the unit card, they're only a 60-point unit, so very affordable for an advanced unit. They are a support also, the first special type of support for AMG that they've put out with like this new direction for Legion, for the Empire. We had clone commandos that were also a support that were just recently previewed for the Republic, but the Empire is getting a support of their own, and at an even cheaper cost at only 60 points for 4 miniatures. It's pretty wild. Now, the big takeaway from these guys is that range 4 on their base gun. That gives them very long range at only 60 points, and it's a black die at that. That E10R blaster rifle is going to leave an impact. I mean, you've got huge range on these guys, and at low cost, while you are not kind of incentivized to be like forced to take 3 of them, I think some people may want to take 3 because of the cost. You can fit them into a list and be very effective and cover a lot of area. And I feel like there's a contrast between these guys and the clone commandos, where the clone commandos are very effective in a small area, and that's why you want 3 of them to kind of make that small area a little bigger. These guys are less effective, but still moderately effective in a much larger area. So it's a really big donut, but it's more of a vanilla donut, or maybe even a vanilla donut with a drizzle of chocolate, right? And then the clone commandos are more like donut holes, but there's like sprinkles, and they have like jelly, and like there's chocolate chips baked in, and then they're rolled in cinnamon, and all of that good stuff. I must be hungry right now. I don't know why I'm making food analogies to the Range Troopers. Maybe because they're cooking on a range. You can call a stovetop a range. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on and talk about the unit. They have advanced targeting Trooper 1. And basically what that means is if they attack a trooper, they can only, if they want to use this ability, that means they can only attack one target, and it has to be a trooper, and then they get a free aim token every time they attack a trooper. Just pretty cool. It's very cool, as a matter of fact. It means that they're going to work very well with cool things like maybe Palpatine, who could let them attack outside of their own activation, right? It would be like a multiplier for them, because they could potentially, hey, we can attack this trooper with an aim token now, boom, and then Palpatine can be like, pull the strings, and then they can attack again and get another aim token again, and all that other cool stuff. So that's kind of a cool little way to multiply that ability. They also have Armor 1, which is really cool on troopers. You don't see it very often, but yeah, we have seen it a few times. They have Indomitable, Scale, and Spur, things that are leading them to deal with terrain and suppression. Now, they have a Courage 2, which is very nice. Still only health 1, but it is the red defense die. No surge of any kind, only speed 1. So there are definitely some limiters here. No surge, no slow speed. They have 2 dice for their melee, though. So if somebody does get in close with them, they're going to roll at least a lot of dice. Maybe no hits, but it's that Gription boot kick. And then they can take an extra personnel, a heavy, a grenade, and comms. So all in all, it looks like this is, if you're just taking the base unit, which some people may do, you're going to have a big donut for a low cost. Now, they do have some options. For 15 points, we can add an extra ranged trooper, which is about what you'd expect. That if it's a 60-point unit, you're getting 15 points per mini. That's on point on cost. You have a DLT-20A on the left there. The DLT-20A, which is range 1 to 5, and it's 2 red with impact 2. That one is a little counter to the rest of the unit. That if they're not splitting their fire and they get that bonus for attacking troopers, the DLT-20A is a heavy that you would add if you didn't need to split that fire, or if you were going after troopers that happen to have armor, like other ranged troopers, or maybe dark troopers, or B2 super battle droids. Then maybe that DLT-20A could synergize better with the unit. But it's actually meant to offer these units some versatility. If in case you don't want them to do what their intended purpose is, which is to kill troopers, if you want to have to split fire with them and have some impact for armor targets, then you have the DLT-20A. Also, it's got that range 1 to 5, and you may not even need to use that for armor. You may just want the extra long range, but if you do, take advantage of that, the rest of the unit may not be able to join in, and you may not get that free aim token. So it gives you, options in case you can't just in case you just don't want to do the 1 to 4 with the free aim on a trooper. But if you do want to do the thing that you do, if you do want to play them as intended, in my opinion, which is the more true to their role of range 1 to 4, let's all attack a trooper and get a free aim token, then I think the T-21 ranged trooper is definitely a great option. He's got that range 1 to 4, and he offers 4 extra dice to the unit, which really turns their attack pool into a much stronger attack pool. I like heavies that add 4 dice or more. It really gives a big dice pool feeling. And considering that they're rolling black dice for the basic unit, here you're going to have a lot of dice added to your unit with a T-21. And it's suppressive on top of that, which really is another aspect of their character. If we go back, they have Courage 2 already, but then they also have Indomitable, which means they're going to roll those red dice instead of white dice during the rally step. Now, they can still be panicked because the panic rules have changed. They can still be panicked, but they're going to roll off that panic every time they activate. Way easier with both Indomitable and a Courage 2. So they're probably not going to have to worry about losing any actions, or at least not losing a whole activation. They can take Spur to go up to Speed 2 for, you just don't want to do that if you already have 3 suppression on you, because then you're like, oh, I'm going to panic. So or you want a high courage commander. Again, they could pair very well with Palpatine. That's definitely an option. However, I am going to build a list with these guys, and I'm not going to use Palpatine in the list. So let's jump over and take a look at the list. We are going to use Director Orson Krennic. Krennic's, I think, also kind of factors into some of the things that they may want to do. He's got some pretty cool command cards that also deal with suppression, and it's going to allow me to do a couple of other things. I'm going to use an Inquisitor, but only use one Inquisitor today. I'm going to use Seventh Sister in this list, and one of my thoughts is, and again, this is just me spitballing, brainstorming a little bit with ranged troopers, is because they have armor 1 but no defensive surge, they're going to want cover as often as possible, and because they're not super fast, they may need some cover kind of early in the game to take advantage of their long range. They may have to potentially put themselves in an awkward spot to have a shot down the long straightaways on your map or whatever. And so I said I really want a way to drop barricades in there, and we can do that if we put the right condition on there. But I wanted Seventh Sister. I wanted a Force user that would have Force Lift. I wanted to be able to start with a barricade and be able to put barricades in certain places to maximize the survivability of the ranged troopers. And I thought Seventh Sister would fit the bill perfectly, because not only is she going to be the close range that can be supported by their long range attacks from afar, but it also synergizes really, really well with Director Krennic. And then it makes kind of this whole machine work. So I thought that this would be a really cool kind of direction for this whole build. So she'll have tenacity, inquisitorious training, and Force Lift. Krennic we're not gonna put any upgrades on Krennic. We're gonna have 2 shore troopers. The shore troopers are well. The shore troopers are always groovy because they have the coordinate to the mortars, and the mortars. This is another thing I like is that they have fire support. The mortars have fire support, and that's actually also really groovy. So the mortars are going to be able to add some critical one to a fire and we get that free aim. Look, I think that's one of the weaknesses also of our range troopers is that they don't have any extra critical. They don't have any surge or anything like that. So there's options there. Of course, you could always go with aggressive tactics or something like that. I definitely wanted my Death Troopers. I have a DLT on the Death Trooper, and then the E11, of course, and then Overwatch. I put that on the Death Troopers as well. Now, for our Range Troopers, I do have one that is going to be equipped with the T21, one that is going to be naked without the T21, and then one that has the T21 and fragmentation grenades. We're trying all different types. Trying different ways to try them out. Now, I don't feel like you need to run 3, but I kind of wanted to run 3 in this build. And we'll look at the command cards that I've gone with. So 7th Sister, we took her 1 pip of Come and Prove It. Some of her cards aren't going to be as good if you don't have 5th Brother with them, so I didn't take Unexpected, but not Unwelcome. So I did Come and Prove It. I'll just help her when she does move in. I've got Voracious Ambition on Krennic. It's a great list to be able to run that card. Having a lot of your troopers that aren't necessarily just all core and SF means that I'm going to have a wider variety of tokens in the pile, and this is a great card in this case. I feel like it's become less and less great over time, and now with a little more diversity in our different types of tokens that we're going to have, this could be a little bit more desirable. So I like that. Plus, it's a 1 pip, and did we mention that one of the things that I love about this is that Krennic has Cunning, so he's going to win ties. 7th Sister has Interrogate, which means if she can get in close, she's going to treat your guy as having 1 fewer pip, which means Krennic's 3 pip can beat an opposing 2 pip. Will always beat an opposing 2 pip if she's there. So Krennic's cards just get powered up even that much more, which means Voracious Ambition on Krennic will even beat Han Solo's. Sorry about the mess. His 0 pip. So that's kind of cool. Go with a generic 2 pip of Pinned Down here. This will allow my ranged troopers to shoot and take some orders off and put them back into your pool. It's kind of a fun one from time to time. We've got Deploy the Garrison. This one's first off, it's Krennic. All the Krennic's cards are going in here. It's a good one. You can give standby to other stuff. I probably am putting this on the Death Trooper, but I could also put this on the Range Trooper with the Fragmentation Grenade. We've got you hide your fear well. She's given her Demoralize 1. And when other people are suppressed, they roll 1 fewer die when spending aim tokens, and of course that does factor in to what the ranged troopers are doing. I feel like ranged troopers work well with 7th Sister. Annihilation looms. If we can hold this one off to the end, if we've been putting out suppression the whole time, again, we got a lot of different suppressive weapons in there. The ranged troopers have it. The mortar troopers have it. Again, they don't have to fire support on the ranged troopers. If we're trying to spread out suppression, they probably don't want to do that anyway. But we have a lot of options. This is just a fun card to pop on the last turn. Did you guys all have objectives? Boom, everybody drops their objectives because now all you guys are suppressed if I layered it on well enough. And then standing orders is always the last one. So there we go. That's the list. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on how I'm looking at range troopers, and maybe there's some combos and some other things I didn't talk about that you think I should have mentioned. I'd love to hear about them in the video description below, because as I was going through different commanders and different people to pair them with, I was thinking there are some good options out there. Even thought maybe Boba Fett for a little bit with one of the new cards that gives an extra black die to somebody else's attacks. I'm like, that could work, especially on a naked one of them. They could roll an extra black die for free. It's like 15 points worth of die, and there's all kinds of little things to think about when trying to make them a little better and to combo them with other different units that are available to the Empire. They look like they're going to be very exciting. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys help make this whole channel possible. Thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes, and always wash your socks.